There's something to be said about meme magic. Do not let your memes be dreams. Take advantage of the situation with the viral moment with the crazy 6-foot-tall basketball player taking slashes at a cop, looking very conspicuously close to somebody else who is, well, currently in a similarly unconscious state in the form of a Concord character. And wow, it's kind of strange how we're talking about a game long past a time frame when it was actually active. Remember, this is the $400 million flop, apparently. Non-confirmed numbers, but it all kind of makes sense if you break down the numbers. That Sony was so embarrassed by, they shut off servers, refunded all of the 25,000 customers that were potentially out there, and closed the game down in a shorter amount of time than the average lifespan of a housefly. Concord couldn't last 2 weeks. The memes will continue on for a lifetime, especially when you take a look back and everybody was already marking its downfall. I mean, prior to its full release, obviously, this is July 29th, this post popped up and people were already saying, "I'll just go free to play, bro," because we've seen those beta numbers and they were ass. While there aren't any other hero shooters like Concord out there besides Overwatch at the moment, yeah, maybe that should be a sign that, okay, cool, maybe there is a niche in the market. Maybe Concord could succeed in the rather vacant hero shooter market, or you could take that as a sign that, people aren't really that excited about hero shooters anymore. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, right? It's a bit of a gamble to charge $40, yeah, for a new IP that just looks that disinteresting. I agree. For an online experience in this day and age where they're high quality free-to-play titles like Fortnite and Apex Legends. Yeah, Fortnite, the reason for its success is because it's low barrier of entry. Apex Legends, from what I hear, is one of the sweatiest gaming experiences that you can possibly pop on. It's at a point where if you didn't get in early, don't bother getting in at this point, because the skill ceiling is just so high, and there are so many no-lifers just pressed right up against it, where you're just not going to have a fun time unless you can squad up with some people that are going to get you real good in a real short period of time. Yeah, some people think that Concord is being sent out to fail because gamers might not want to pay money up front for a game that might be mediocre. But then, yeah, you take a look at the financials and trying to send a message for a brand new studio that Sony invested that much money in. Yeah, that's a level of conspiracy right up there with, no, actually, Ubisoft wants to tank their price so they can take their company private so that they have less money at their disposal to make even worse games. Strange. Concord transitioning to a free-to-play model with a paid battle pass and microtransactions might help bring in more players on day one, potentially helping to succeed. Yeah, even if the game ends up just being okay. Oh, with the sheer optimism that this game would just simply be okay. And then you have Forbes in the aftermath of the release once again saying free-to-play. Free-to-play. Can we go free-to-play? Is there anything that we can do with Concord here? Can we save this obvious disaster before it goes totally silent? Concord remains, yes, at number 40 in the PlayStation Store in terms of sales. Just, yeah, after opening weekend, it remains in perpetual decline from the already shocking lows on Steam. Was it 693 players, peaking, yeah, at just under 250 players a night. And then even before the announcement, what was that? The Tuesday after Labor Day? And yeah, it's done. It's done. We're shutting this stuff down. Where it was barely clocking in at 100 people, and then after that announcement, you had literal dozens of people turning out. So let's be real, Concord going free to play is inevitable. Interesting take. Now, while it may be working for now, a continued lack of interest will soon create problems for the game, ranging from matchmaking. Yes, some modes already have issues. Yeah, where we heard reports of people just timing out after 8 minutes looking for a complete lobby to play a game. Not great. To justification for continued to support. Fundamentally, it needs more players and free to play. The model every other game in the genre has is a way to get more players, raises the number of questions and issues, however. And yeah, for once, Paul Tassi actually has some decent points over here at Forbes. How soon? Well, we'll probably get back around to that one. Free to play or PlayStation Plus. Yeah, that would be something too. You could go full free to play with your battle passes, microtransactions, and all that stuff. Or you could use it as an incentive to sign up for PlayStation Plus. That could be another thing. Given that Steam player base is so anemic, you could choose to either, write it off completely or just, go free to play on that front. Kind of have a bifurcated model where it's a pack in with your PlayStation subscription and you get a discounted access or depending on what tier of PlayStation Plus you're signed up for, you know, you get the free or, like I said, discounted battle pass. And that could be a way that you could go on that one. Monetization changes, yes, of course, you know, cool skins and all that stuff, or I don't know, maybe some non-nauseating characters. That could be something. Yes, pointing out the obvious downfalls of the game. The problem with the idea that free-to-play could significantly change the fortunes of Concord is that we've already seen this trial balloon. But oh yeah, for this, that did not go well either. Okay, just weeks before launch, Concord had a free open beta that drew just 2,300 players on Steam at max. And yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. You couldn't even attract 2,300 people in an open beta. Okay, your closed beta actually had better numbers, and then by the time that word of mouth started to spread, everybody realized that, yeah, it doesn't matter if you charge 40, 30, 20, or you give it away for free. This shit is ass, bro. Nobody wants to play this game because it's just bad. The characters are not engaging. The gameplay is just fine, and you can get this experience literally anywhere else. We will be good playing older games because your new ones, well, they just suck. And then, of course, we all know the story from there. Servers were shut down, refunds were issued, and everybody looked at that announcement from the studio saying, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and retool, take it offline, and whatever in the future holds for Concord, we'll keep you abreast. And we haven't heard anything until very recently, when some eagle-eyed players on Steam started to notice some Steam files are getting updated, meaning that, yeah, they're taking some cues from the people that were pointing out your best opportunity for making this thing a success is probably going free to play. The whole $40 barrier to entry, it's probably not going to work. If you want to try this other way of doing it, it could be fine, but ultimately it doesn't solve the problem of this thing being really bad off rip. Well, let's take a look. We haven't heard much from Concord in recent days, likely because it functionally no longer exists. There is no Steam page for it. It's been removed from the PlayStation Plus store. The only thing that's left is just some tchotchkes you can buy in the form of like a sweatshirt and a coffee cup off of the PlayStation store. Like there's no presence of this game at all outside of the memes, obviously. Still, there's plenty of interest amongst the PlayStation faithful, sure, as to what developer Firewalk's ultimate fate will be. And the always watching Steam DB has detected some small movement. Now, we don't speak PC. This is push square. PlayStation's shill site, but because this is a first-party Sony title, yeah, makes sense. And thus, don't understand what it all means. Irregularly, since being pulled offline as recently as yesterday, some changes have been made to Concord's game files on Steam. Inevitably, this leads the community to speculate if there's life in the game yet. Because, yeah, you go back to the PlayStation blog, an important update, and yeah, let's just get this verbiage correct. While we determine the best path ahead, and remember this statement came from Ryan Ellis, the game director at Firewalk Studios, Concord sales will cease immediately, and we will begin to offer a refund for all gamers while we determine the best path ahead. We'll keep you updated, and thank you again, for all the free gunners who have joined us in the Concord Galaxy. Yeah, you can get your refunds starting September 6th. Wow, and here we are in the middle of October still talking about this crazy stuff. But yeah, they didn't say the game was canceled. They were going to scrap it. It's just, we're just going to take it down and assess our future, see what the best path forward is going to be. And then you got, little updates, meaning that they're at least working on it, which I think it's very likely that we are going to see some sort of resurgence with this game, which was what I was speculating on at the time, back when this was first announced, that, they'll probably just take it back and then they'll try to relaunch it because there's way too much money dropped in this project. There are way too many competent people, theoretically, at Firewalk Studios. So if they go ahead and purge all the activists and they bring in some people where they, let those Bungie veterans that actually did some good work back in the day, ply their craft and make a competent shooter, this could be a No Man's Sky situation. This could be, not as successful, but on a similar trajectory where Fortnite was just simply a goofy-ass Battle Royale clone, but then when it relaunched, it became the biggest game of just about of all time. Or if they're just looking at how to change up their monetization strategy, they're just going to get met with a similar brick wall where nobody's going to be playing their overly expensive game. But hey, at least we adhere to our DEI policies that make us look really good for the modern audience. Yeah, that same modern audience that caused you to refund all of the purchases in a record-breaking and belly laugh-inducing time. So we'll see what happens with Concord. Are we going to hear anything about it at the Game Awards towards the end of the year? I think that's possible, not probable, but I think, by this time next year, I think we'll see Concord back in some form or fashion, because we're all going to need something to laugh at next year. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.